Hello ladies and gentlemen, Ryu goes right here. Today I'm going to be covering the TvZ BC build. I usually thought that doing a BC video would be a little bit worthless as, you know, plenty of people have done it, but there has been a shift in the meta and people have been changing it up a little bit with new styles such as the special and TY style of after making one BC, you make another BC, and then another BC, and consecutive BCs after that. So I'm gonna kind of be showing how I like to do that style and how I think the build is properly done. Well, this will be how the build is properly done, but I'm gonna be showing you guys a Hellion BC build into Battlemech, as a better way of putting it. Now, I did just remute my game sounds as the game sounds are in Korean right now, and I think it would just make a little bit of noise as opposed to helping me, and I can just focus on commentary. However, if it doesn't bother you, you can just leave a comment and let me know. If you want to call me a weeb, go ahead and do that as well. Not opposed. Now, in TvZ, you want to just in any matchup really, you want to set your camera hotkeys. I like to personally set my third camera hotkey to this base. However, I know people like TY will take this base here. I personally just think it's safer to take the base here because you can wall off here, and your rally will naturally protect you from attacks here. But it's totally preference, and if you prefer this low ground base, then you can by all means go ahead and go right for it. So now we're just going to go ahead and start Orbital Reaper, and send the SCV down and, you know, kind of throw down the CC. And this is a build where you kind of want to be really aware and on top of your scouting because, this can die flat out to a ton of builds. This can die straight up to a Roach push, it can die to any Nidus build, and it can die to a Bane bust. Well, not really, because it is a Hellion bust, or a Hellion build, so it has a really good shot against Bane busts. So we're going to go ahead and throw down our factory. It's a little bit late, but it's okay. And we're going to throw down our second gas. And we're always going to send our Reaper right away to the natural because you want to keep that second marine there until you see there is, in fact, a natural. So because we're against the AI, we're just going to pretend there was a natural and cancel the second marine and start a reactor. However, if it wasn't a hatchery, then you can make a third marine, and you can make a Hellion from the factory, and then a reactor after the third marine, and then it kind of just lines up from there. Now, I like to keep my Reaper just at the edge of creep, usually, because you can kind of block the first queen's tumor if you focus it down and you're on top of it. Now, we're immediately going to throw down a starport. And we're going to throw the barracks in the back here. Now, one thing I actually do recommend is when you do this build, try to throw your starport actually somewhere in the back. I didn't do it this game because I'm a little bit lazy, but you don't want to throw your starport somewhere hidden like here or here. And the reason for that is because we want to hide the fact that it's a tech lab. Now, we're going to make a second marine immediately, and we're just going to make some Hellions here. And after that, we're going to go ahead and throw our SCV in the back here. We're going to start a tech lab here, and a fusion core also hidden in the back. And we make two marines for this so we can just kind of deny overlord scouting, no matter what direction it comes from. We're going to keep making those depots, those juicy depots. And one thing for macroing players that I like to recommend is when you're macroing, just always take a minute to check these blue bars and look at the bottom. You can see here that I always have something queued, or I try to queue something up before I think one is about to finish. This is a good way to stay on top of your macro and just kind of use visual indicators to kind of remind yourself. So we're going to wait here. We're going to throw down this CC. It's a little bit off place because of this depot, but that's okay. We're going to cut Hellions here for a second. We want to be out on the map with these Hellions, of course. And we're going to go ahead and start a BC right away. And then continue production. Remember to start a depot right away. Tech lab on this barracks. And then you're going to throw down your double gas, one gas here, another depot, and resume Hellion production. And you're next going to just lift up this barracks here, throw it off to the side. You want to, of course, be with your Hellions out on the map, just kind of clearing creep, trading and picking off lings. Anything really you can do to damage the Zerg or make them think you're going to dive in without diving in is always effective. And we're going to throw down 2 more factories. More depots. Start a tech lab here. And immediately as this BC comes out, you want to warp it right into the main base. And we can just take these Marines and kill this thing right here. So go ahead and warp in. And usually there's going to be a spore crawler here. If there's not, you focus the queen, and then you want to get the drones. If there is a spore crawler, just focus on killing the drones. Now we're going to queue up another BC immediately after. And we're going to start taking our third base gases. So we can go ahead and land our third. And start a depot wall, kind of like here and here. Throw our dudes onto the factory. Our factories onto their respective add-ons. And we're just going to go ahead and start up some Battlemech production and get Yamato Cannon. Yamato Cannon is a great ability because it straight up one-shots queens, and it is so awesome. It is a very, very key ability if you're going to go this mass BC style, because later on they're going to have more units that counter your BCs, and you kind of want to just one-shot them and get them out of the way. Now we're going to throw our dudes over here. Oh, we just want to clear these lings real quick. And, oh, these Hellions are doing quite a bit. Or these lings are doing quite a bit. Remember to not get supply blocked, so pop, pop, pop. Of course, you can take your next BC. You don't have to teleport this one, but you want to, like, take it across. Now, at about here, you can start your mag field. More Cyclones. And you're just kind of making Cyclone Hellion for the most part here. And BCs, and just kind of rallying them across the map and trading. If your BCs ever get low on health, by all means, or, like, send them home and repair them. But, like, do not lose them. Now, here at 710, we're going to throw down 2 armories. And then we're gonna also, while we're like harassing with these BCs, you want to be out on the map with your Cyclone Hellion. Start your 4th CC at about 7:30. After your 4th CC, we can take our next available gas, and we can start 2 more factories and Blue Flame. You know? And of course, you just kind of keep making units with Battlemech. The idea of Battlemech is you're making like very cheap mech units, and you're kind of just trading really well with them because the unit can kite, and you're just kind of slowly teching up to battle cruisers and mass expanding because this style is a little bit cheaper than regular mech is, and it's more mobile, so it can kind of cause more of a threat. So you want to be clearing creep and sniping bases. I may show you guys some of my replays personally of when I use Battlemech, but with BC style as well, you want to also make sure you're scouting for corruptors. Because if you see a corruptor transition, that means it's either time to start adding Thors and going into maybe normal mech, or cutting BCs and perhaps going into Banshees. So I actually like to go double tech lab here. Two tech labs, or one tech lab is really more than enough when dealing with Zerg on Battlemech. Sorry, 1 reactor. Oh my lord. Had a huge slip up there. Doesn't happen every day. Well, kinda does, but it's okay. So now we can just kind of keep poking with our units. We keep expanding here. You can see that we start to float money with mech. That's just kind of a natural thing with mech. You can kind of keep making cyclones. You can keep going on the map. Want to remember to get your +1/+1. We're actually super late on that. Now, note with your upgrades here, you want to get +1 attack and +1 armor first. And then after that, you can then decide if you want to go into different upgrades. And by that, let me just pause here and take a little quick explanation. You can start to go into ship weapons if they're not going corruptors to stop your BCs, or you can go into more vehicle attack upgrades. And the way you kind of decide this is, you know, whether or not they have corruptors. If they have corruptors, or like heavy Roach Hydra, or say maybe heavy Hydra, you may want more vehicle upgrades. And the reason why you want at minimum +1 vehicle attack is so that your Hellions can still kind of like kill drones pretty effectively at the number of 3 or 4. Without +1 attack, they kind of struggle to do so. It also kind of just makes them a little bit more effective against lings without being useless. If you do have to budget your gas though, and you have to choose just between one, I would personally recommend just grabbing the armor upgrade, as it will affect all your mech units, and at the core of your damage it's still Cyclones, which their damage comes from mag field accelerators, which is an ability. Now again, keep making your BCs. You can trade off some units from your Battlemech army if you need to afford more. You can maybe add a second and third starport if you feel like you're starting to like really get into the late game economy stage. As always, like I tell people, if you're ever floating money, just throw down some CCs. These can be used for orbitals and scans, which can later replace your SCVs mining minerals. And we want to kind of just start expanding here. You can, if you have extra gas, you can throw down an upgrade on vehicle armor. You can get more factories if you want to as well. Remember, you're always out on the map with Battlemech. You can get some siege tanks if you feel like you need to be safer. You know, like maybe you feel like you're under threat. That's a viable option as well. And really, you're just kind of trading, going in with Yamato cannon, sniping off important units, possibly Vipers, Infestors, Queens maybe, whatever you really can, because Yamato is cooldown based, so it really is just like you use it off cooldown. Obviously, you don't want to hit something useless like a Hydralisk, obviously, but if you have like nothing else to hit really, then it's okay, you know. And what you can do is you can fly your BCs down to the map. You can fly and maybe kill these extractors, maybe kill some Evo chambers, and then you never teleport into the base after the first BC teleport, because that kind of takes away from the insurance of your BCs. Because when you fly BCs in, they have the ability to just jump out, which is part of the reason why they're so good right now. You can always like save your BCs if you can just choose which ones you want to teleport, you know? So we're going to go ahead and grab these bases. We can grab these extra gases. You can throw down more CCs. I like to throw CCs here, and sometimes I like to add extra planetaries and just sit like missile turrets here. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but you can see like our BCs can come in here. The Zerg army may be somewhere like here or here, and then you can run in, you know, gun the Queens, gun the Lings. Maybe you can Yamato, if you have all the Yamatos, you can Yamato down the layer, and then you could say run into the third base with the rest of your units and just kind of pick off some other things. You can see with a lot of orbitals, we just have enough to like kind of mule our bases and just expand our mineral economy. And in the late game, having more money is so key. So you can use your mules off cooldown, or you can save it for things like scans if you feel like that's more important. You can start to add more starports, because going mass liberator is also an option beside BCs, because BCs are not the end-all tech. You want to have other units. So also having stuff like liberators as a possible unit you can make is really useful. Specifically when playing against mech, I like to go... when playing against broodlords with mech, I like to go for something like Liberator Thor, because you can siege the Liberators on top of the Thors to kill the broodlings, as well as stop any unit from like kind of running onto you. And the Thors, if you focus fire them, will always kill the broodlords because they now outrange them. So we can go ahead and start some reactors there. We can keep expanding. We have more money, some more orbitals. You know, just kind of keep being active on the map. And really, that's all there is to a build like this. Just keeping map control, expanding, teching up, getting more production, and just building the big mech bank while massing up BCs. At some point in the game, you will start to notice that your gas bank is failing, and this is something that I recommend with any style of mech, whether it be mech TVP, mech TvZ, or even mech TVT. You want to at some point have a bio transition on the way. So say maybe at some point, like say 14 minutes here, you can throw down some extra barracks, and you can either go into Ghost first, or you can be like me and go just add 8 barracks and go Ghost Bio, and just kind of do a mech to bio transition. And the reason why you go mech to bio, and this may have a lot of people puzzled, because they may be asking themselves, why would you ever go mech into bio? The reason is because the mech army, the longer it goes on, gets super clunky, whereas the bio army is very mobile, and it's like just way cheaper. So it could come as a surprise to some players, so there's also that factor to it. And I just think having ghosts as well with upgrades is really effective, because you want to throw down nukes and you want to use snipes to kill the big Zerg units just for like value. So we can start to get our upgrades here. We can throw down like about 12 barracks, and we have like all this production. We're on like 12.55. You can even throw down more starports if you want. And when you have your bio transition up, then you can really start to do a lot, because you can start getting ghosts, you can get medevacs, you can drop, you may still make mech units, so like you have cyclones and hellions out on the map, and it just really kind of just, it just works, is what I want to ultimately put this at. So bio transition is an option. Of course, you need to take a little while to set it up beforehand, if you have like the extra minerals like this, because it can take a while, because, you know, we won't have our 3-3 or anything right away. So you can start with ghosts first and then naturally start to transition into marines as your 2-2 finishes, but you don't want to reveal that it's like full-on bio until really 2-2 is done, because your units wouldn't really do a lot, and the Zerg player can start to compensate. Because when you're playing against mech, you sometimes neglect things like Bane speed, or other forms of splash damage, or even melee attack, because Zerg players like to go Roach Hydra against mech. But anyways, that's everything for this video and the last video for the month. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you have any comments on anything, you can always just ask me in the comment section, or join All Things Terran Discord and ask me there. Thank you so much.